you? Well, they're the world's most famous lifeguards. Baywatch became one of the defining shows of the 90s, launching stars like Pamela Anderson, David Hasselhoff and David Chokachi.
Hi, excuse me. Could you guys point me to the locker room?
Yeah, and how's this? Decades on, David sending fans into a frenzy, slipping back into the famous red swimsuit as his character Cody Madison returns for the highly anticipated reboot.
Look out.
Look out, he's let himself go, yeah, right. David Chokachi joins us live from LA. Good morning to you, mate. This is so exciting. You very quickly became, of course, a huge part of the Baywatch cast when you first arrived. Take us back. What was it like on set?
You know, that scene you guys just showed me walking down the stairs saying, you know, can you point me to the locker room? That was, I think, my first scene, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to die. I thought my heart was going to come out of my chest. But, you know, about 4 hours later, once we got to the beach, I was near the ocean, I was like, okay, this is my wheelhouse. This is where I thrive. And it was the best. You know, the series... I would say there's a real difference right now because what I've noticed is during the 90s, there were no cell phones. We had no distractions. So we would hang out together. We would rehearse. I would train with Michael Newman at lunch. Now there's cell phones on set. And I think, you know, there's kind of a disconnect between the actors, and it's not the greatest, and it happens everywhere. You know, any movie or TV show I go on. Back then, you're kind of stuck with each other, good or bad. But we had a blast. You know, both shows are. You know, the original was amazing for what it had, and this new show, it's not a reboot in the sense. It's the same heart and soul of the original show, same DNA. We're just fast forwarding basically from when it ended in 1999 to 2026. And so everything that really happened in the original is we're like that happened, and we're moving forward with like that. And there's some cool things happening, yeah.
David, is it true at the time on the show, Pamela Anderson was your love interest at one point?
She was.
Which apparently her partner, Tommy Lee, was not a fan of you two being love interests.
Well, yeah, what happened was... You know, when we shoot, a lot of times we're shooting down in a public beach, and we can only police tape up so much area. And Pam and I were shooting a kissing scene at the water's edge, and one of those TV tabloid magazines. You know, they're all over the place back then. The paparazzi, and they got footage of us making out in the water's edge. I mean, the most we did was make out on Baywatch. But Pam and I took it a little step further. You know, you're not supposed to use your tongue, but we're like, hey, this is a hall pass. Come on, let's have some fun.
So hold on, you what?
Yeah, you heard it. So on TV, you know, you're really not supposed to use your tongue, and when you're on, that was like the rule of TV back in the day. Now I don't even know what it is. But her and I were both like, you know, we ditched that rule real quickly and had a lot of fun, and we're like, how was it? And then they would just roll on us, too, making out. And then afterwards, I would be like, Pam, how was that? She'd be like, oh, that was great. How was that for you? That was awesome. Okay. All right, cool.
So Tommy had something
to worry about. Right? Hey, David, look, let's not beat around the bush here, mate. You're absolutely shredded now. You're absolutely shredded on the show. How much time are you spending in the gym? How are you staying so fit at the time?
Well, you know, I've always, like, I kind of live a lifestyle. I live up in Malibu in an area that's fire prone. You have to be very resourceful to kind of live up there. I'm a member of this community fire brigade. You know, you don't want to be the kind of guy who cannot do things, be capable. I take emergency trauma classes, all kinds of different things, because where we are, there's nobody's coming to save you. So that's in the back of my mind. I have a 14-year-old daughter. She's in the junior lifeguard program, her 7th year up in Malibu at Zuma. I want to be competent in all areas of you know, whatever's coming at us, and fitness is a huge thing. You know, can I run into a burning house and pull her out, or can I yank her out of a car accident or a stranger? You know, I've come across a couple bad car accidents at night after filming and pulled people out, and so and when I got on this show, I was on and I still am on a mission to prove these youngsters, like, I don't think there's a guy. The only guy who's more fit is Thaddeus Legrand, and he's 6'4". He played Division I football, but I got everybody else beat by a mile. So they keep me behind the bar, though. They haven't put me like I've been in a couple civilian rescues. But I've really kind of yet to let my fitness show. But on the first series, I saw really quickly what worked: fitness, working with your acting coach, and just being over and over. And then if they saw how fit you were, and I was super capable in the ocean already. The audience responds, the writers respond, you end up becoming, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. So I'm doing the same thing here. I do 2 workouts a day. I get up at 3:30 in the morning every day. I don't go to bed till like 11. I try to not stop moving. Even I'll eat dinner sitting, but then I'm cleaning dishes because if I sit, I'll fall asleep.
Wow.
And I just like that routine, man. I go.
As you're making your way around LA, pulling people from car wrecks and what have you, such are the fans of Baywatch. Are you getting recognised to this day?
Oh, yeah, it's never stopped, especially in certain parts of the country. It's happened in the most remote places. We were in the Galapagos Island on National Geographic. And they're we get in the boats to go to land, and they have a red rescue can. The guy does a quick intro to the group. He goes, okay, zip life jackets. And by the way, the red can, we call that Pamela. This is the Galapagos, This is the furthest point of so I didn't say anything for 2 days, and then after 2 days we were on the beach. I told these Ecuadorian guides that I'm on the show. I was on the old show, and they were like freaking out, and we took all these pictures. Awesome.
How brilliant, mate! Now another role that you're starring in is a new action drama film. Tell us about it. It's called Married Alive.
Married Alive, yes, it's out right now here in the States. It's a beautiful story. It's a father-son story. It's basically like, how far would you go to save your child, and what would you do? What lengths would you go to? It's got everything in it. It's a thrill ride. I raised him. It's too much of a long backstory to explain, but he and I are both firefighters, and we're going up to our cabin for one last get-together before he gets married. Our Jeep spins off the road, and he gets crushed in his hip level in a riverbed that's dry at the moment. No cell phone service, so I have to go to the cabin to try and see if the landline's working. As I'm going, the weather changes and the river starts rising, and now there's a clock ticking the whole time. So it gets intense. It's a beautifully written by Bruce Reisman, amazing cast, Alan Williamson, everybody involved. It was one of those movies where you didn't want to go home at night, and when we all left at the end, we go, wow, we did something special, and that does not happen all the time.
Oh, mate, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I just love your enthusiasm for life, David. It's been terrific catching up with you.
Infectious.
A little bit of a walk down memory lane, and great to catch up with what you're doing now.
Thank you so much. So great being here.
Thanks, Dave.